teleportations, clones, debuffs, fear, stuns, and even a freaking Uno reverse skill that takes his HP back to what it was 4 seconds ago. All that damage you dealt doesn't mean a thing. Impressed yet? Then how about we throw in invisibility? How about now? Hey guys, and welcome to the Veteran's Guide for Reapers, the original trickster of Raja, my first love, and nemesis of all those who play PvP on auto. Enjoy guys! So after the voting in the community section, I discovered that a majority of you guys want the Veteran's Guide as opposed to the beginner's one. So if you're just starting Raja, I would suggest you check out my first guide video for Reapers, as it best introduces the Reaper class while explaining the basics. I'll leave a link in the description, comment section, and at the top corner of this video. After understanding the basics, this video should prove more useful to you, so do try to return to this. Now, since this is a veterans or experts guide, I won't state the obvious. What I'll do is correct any mistakes made in the previous guide. So I'll talk briefly about the topics from the previous guide, which are shown on the screen now. I'll answer the questions asked in the community post, and I will emphasize more on different ways to play the Reaper class. And I'm sure you guys don't just want to watch me or many other videos defeat other classes as Reaper, but we also want to be able to defeat or do all those things you see on my arena videos yourself. So without wasting too much time, let's start with the video. The first thing we'll talk about will be the stats. Of course, you guys know the basics, your magic attack, your earth attack. But now what I want to correct is an error I made earlier. The third stats that you want to increase should be your magic defense. My basis for this is because there are too many overpowered magical classes currently, like the Phantom Sound and Illusionist. Heck, even the Puppeteer hits hard these days. Like, come on, what the hell? Anyway, this is important than physical defense, as the only troubling physical classes are Skateboarder and Gunslinger. To be honest, is because they both deal high damage, but the Reaper can still defeat those two classes very easily. Now, after you've gotten your magic defense as high as you can, you should try increasing your armor penetration, multi-strike, critical, and CDR. Now I'm very much aware that most of you guys will be worried about having low CDR, but if you play smart enough, this won't really affect you as a Reaper. It does have talent and other stuff that can help you, that can help cover up for your low CDR. But this should also be dependent on your other favorite class. An example is if the Soul Dancer is your main class, then you definitely need to increase your CDR. In this case, switching multi-strike with CDR should be a good choice. You should definitely have more CDR than your multi-strike. So if the Reaper is not your main, your stats should actually go like this: magic attack, earth attack, magic defense, armor penetration, CDR, critical, and multi-strike. But if you are actually determined to make the Reaper your main focus, then CDR can be your last start. But all this is only a problem if you're not a cacher. So if you are, then you can upgrade all of this. But if you're free to play, then I think you should follow my advice. Everyone keeps asking what's the best ally for the Reaper class or the Illusionist, or one class or the other. But after playing Raja from the month it was released till date, I'll say my opinion is there is no best ally. The closest we have to a universally accepted ally would actually be Mingzulu. But be that as it may, the Reaper is still the most free-to-play friendly class in both PvE and PvP, and this is because of its flexibility. So just pick your ally based on your likes. Now when I say likes, let me elaborate on that. What I mean by this is there are three main builds for the Reaper class. The first is a critical focus build. Now these are players who focus on increasing their critical rate and critical damage. Players who focus on this build can either use the original Airy or Captain Airy. You see the passive increases critical damage, and it is in the percentages, not the normal digits. Focus on percentages first. Now another build is the relatively tanky build player, and you can go with Captain Caesar. Where is he? It increases both your defenses and can help you survive longer. Now the third build will be the boosting DPS build. These are players who use allies that increase their overall damage. I'm kind of an example of this. You can use allies like your regular college Eri, Love Johan. They both have passive to increase your overall damage and to continue boosting your DPS. So these are examples of center allies you can use that suits the Reaper class. You can either go for allies to increase your crit, allies to make you more tanky, and allies to boost your damage. Now I won't suggest you go for dodge or multi-strike allies for now. After selecting the center ally you prefer, the other allies should have skills that you can walk around. Let's check out my allies for a bit. Now just ignore Chase again because I'm going to change him real soon. I have plans to change him. So my other allies include my college Eri, Mingzilu, college Caesar, Eri, and Anjo. Each of these allies help me in one way or the other. Let me give you a quick explanation. His EX has the ability to freeze enemies for 2 seconds minimum. His passive is very useful to me when I switch. His passive and ultimate are very useful to me when I switch to classes that require CDR because my CDR is quite low. Mingzilu's special can be a game changer. It actually can silence your opponents that are not a super ammo and make them unable to use their skills. So this can actually help you in a heated battle. Then his ultimate buffs you up, and this can help you cross the rating gap. In other words, it can help you defeat higher ratings if it procs. College Caesar's extra skill combined with this skill of the Reaper that teleports and gives you extra dodge is one of my favorite buffs. It can increase the dodge, plus it increases your hit percentage. In other words, your attack will have less chance of missing. So you can see that all these allies I just mentioned and I use, they all have something they are doing for me. College Eri and actual Eri both boost my overall damage. So these two are damage boosters. Anjo is a buffer and a crowd control ally. Mingzilu is a buffer and a crowd control ally. College Caesar is a buffer. They all do something to me. Also remember that your passive of your support allies do not proc for you. So the skills, the EX, the extra skills, the ultimates, they all have to be very good. So yeah, that'll be it for the allies. Now dragons are actually based on the same concept as allies. If you want to be tanky, then you need Fenrir. Fenrir has the skill to help you be tanky. If you're going critical build, then the Wingless Howl is for you. This increases your critical damage. If you're going for the overall damage boosting, then Serpent's Tail helps you with this. It's like a mini Scotch. If you get stunned a lot, then Lord of the Sky and Wind is helpful for you. This can help you resist some of the stuns. And if you want to stun other players, if you want to be, it's stunning machine and stuff with the fear, with the stuns of Doom Blast and others, then you'll need Norton. Norton can remove the super ammo of your opponents. Combine this with Holy Judgment and Minefield and you can be stunning players left and right. Now the same procedure for the Dragonblood, for choosing Dragonblood, is the exact same thing. You're going to go for your stats, for your sets rather. Now you just think of 3 groups: the DPS, the hybrid DPS, and the hybrid stun or control players. Those are the 3 builds. For the first one, which is the DPS, you require 6 of any of the intellect building stats. That's Ragnarok, Ragnarok, Dragon Rider, Spear. Any of them that increase your intellect, you just slot them in on your player, 6 pieces of them. Then you need 4 pieces of dexterity increasing stats. These are Venom Eye, Venom II, I think Frigga's Key. Yes, as long as they increase dexterity, you can see it right there in the description. Include 4 of them. This is only for those who want to go DPS, pure DPS. Now if you want to go a hybrid DPS, you need 6 pieces of any of the hybrid increasing stats and 4 pieces of the con, that's the defense increasing stats. That's Watries 4, Krakens, and any of all those other ones depending on your level. Now the final group of players, which are the hybrid control or stun DPS, you can only use this when you are from level 120 and above, because that is where the control is unlocked in things like Frigga's Key. If you go to the 6 pieces of Frigga's key, you will see it has unlocked Magic Arrow has a 40% chance to freeze enemy for 3 seconds. You will need this, so definitely you will need 6 pieces of dexterity increasing sets. That's Frigga's key, Venom Eye or Venom II. You will need 6 pieces of them. And you also need 4 pieces of your Constitution build. That's War Trees for Krakens or what have you. Anyone that increase your Constitution, this will help you survive. So those are the 3 builds for the gear sets. Now choose them based on your favorite or your needs. I can't suggest the exact one that's the best because each of them are pretty good in their own right. Now for talents, there's nothing really special here. For the S level talent, Cat Tango is the best. For the A level talent, Shadow Recall is also the best. For the B level talent, I think Cat's Walk. And for the C level talent, this is the game changer now. You could either go with Cat's Enhancement or Destroy in Chain. I will explain these 2 talents later when I get to the proper skill usage section. So these 2 talents, you can pick any one of them. They are both great, but they will affect your playstyle depending on the one you choose. Now for the deep talents. For the level 140, for free to play, if you are free to play, that you don't spend money on the game, I would suggest you go for this one over here. It's defensive, because honestly you can't out damage whales most of the times. You can't out damage the catchers, so I suggest you go for this. Now if you're a catcher, you have more choice. You could either go for the one that's more offensive, or you can go for the defensive one. But do remember that there's always a bigger fish in the sea, so I will still suggest you go for the defensive one because there's always going to be someone stronger than you somewhere out there. Now for the cores, this is quite easy really. You just go with your 9 fire, 5 wind and 2 water. This is the best one for the Reapers. I'm currently using 5 water because I'm still maining some other classes that require CDR. That's why my CDR is still this high. But if you decide to be a Reaper main, that is, you've given up on those other CDR classes and you just decide to be a Reaper throughout your gameplay, then you can give up that 5 CDR or that 5 water and go with the entire 5 wind. You can even remove CDR from your equipment and boost your other stats. And honestly, you will see the difference in that. But I only advise this for those who want to main Reaper, who have truly decided to be Reaper mains. That's what I would advise for you. And now for the EX, this is quite actually easy. It's divided into 3 between the players that want to be tanky. If you want to be tanky, if you want to be a DPS or control player, and if you want to be a unique player, those are the 3 divides. The first and the tanky ones are, if you want to be tanky, you will need Royal Fire, but it needs to be a minimum of level 6. Royal Fire at that stage has the effect of Scorch. You can see it right there. So this can help you actually survive all the Phantom Sounds and the Illusionist DPS, especially with the low cooldown. And this can help you deal a lot more damage as well. But honestly, after testing it out, I realized that it helps more with the tankiness than with the dealing more damage. Now to get it level 6 as fast as you can, you will need Whispers of the Ancient God, the Ring Draconic. This will help you upgrade your drags as fast as possible. You can see my drags, they all have this +2 sign next to them. It's from the Whispers of the Ancient God. It's actually boosting them. Normally my Royal Fire should be level 6, but thanks to it, it's level 8. So it's actually maxed. For the DPS or control builds, that's those that want to stun their opponents, wants to keep dealing as much damage as possible, I'm among these of course. You use Minefield and you will need Holy Judgment as well. I can't stress how important this EX is. It's one of the best in the game. the final group of players will be the unique ones. These are players that don't want to use the same thing others are using, probably want to be unique, want to be different. The EX I would suggest for you guys will be Dark Sun. Honestly, I've tried this out and it is one of the best. I might end up using this in the coming arena, but I don't know. It's one of the best EX. And Fire Tornado. They both deal like a huge amount of damage. Dark Sun even has the ability to increase the damage the opponent receives, but the problem with Dark Sun is you lose a little health after using it. Now you have to keep in mind that after using this EX, you will start losing health for 10 seconds. So you're going to lose 10% of your health in total, because you'll be losing 1% every 1 second. Yeah, but thanks to Shadow Raven, you might just only lose about, I think, 6% if you time it properly. But the good part about this is you also get a shield that absorbs at least 2 million health. Isn't that something good? But anyway, it's just something I'm thinking of. Now, if you ever use Judgment, if you ever use the Judgment EX, that's this one over here, as a Reaper, please save it for when the opponent's HP is considerably low. It works better then. Using it at the start of a fight isn't really a good idea, especially in 1v1s. Now for the auto or combat settings. Reaper is not really a class that favors auto. Like, if you use it while pressing skills, it can mess up your strategy. And if you leave it on full auto in PvP, especially 1v1s, a smart opponent can just trick you and you end up losing. But here's the auto I use for PvE, and it works great, even in events like Dragon Breath or Clash of Swords. Funny enough, I do use the Reaper for those sometimes because I forget and I've already switched to it. So it works quite well, and I do rank high sometimes using the Reaper, but it doesn't compare to the Illusionist, to the Phantom Sounds and stuff. Those other classes were made for damage. Now in this section there are quite a lot of tips, but just know that whatever tip I don't include here, you can learn them from my arena videos or maybe any other video I release as a tip video or trick video. Now the first tip is you can't be turned to duck when you are using your Breath of Annihilation, this skill. Soul Dancers can't stun you, other classes can't stun you, no class can stun you when you're using that skill. So in case you're out of super RAM when you're trying to buy time for you to switch to your blue skills mode, just know that Breath of Annihilation can help you through that. Alright, in this section I did mention that I was going to talk about the card enhancement and the Destroying Chain talent in this section. Here I will just highlight, I will summarize their differences and their importance. I'm going to start with the Destroying Chain talent first. The first thing I want to talk about this talent is it's better for higher rating players. If you're higher rating, this talent should be helpful for you against a lower rating opponent because you're just going to keep dealing a lot of damage to them. Secondly, it's great in some PvE, but honestly, who uses Reaper for those? But yeah, it's great for PvE. Third highlight of this talent is it is a perfect counter to Blade Master or to any dodge build classes or players. Now the fourth thing about this talent, which is kind of an advantage and a disadvantage, is it limits you to the burst combo. Because you are only limited to the damage increase it gives you in the first 5 or 6 seconds of you switching to your cat form, most players have to plan and strategize within that 5 seconds. So you have to deal all your damage within that 5 seconds and then run away and do the damage and stuff. That's what a lot of Reaper who use this talent have to end up doing. So you see Reapers, we end up with the chain skill with the minefield and immediately they start spamming. And once it's over, they run away and undo the damage. So it's a simple and continuous stuff that they have to keep doing. And when the cooldown is ready, they start it all over again. So it's just like that. It limits you to that process. So honestly, it removes the dynamism from the Reaper, but hey, it increases your damage for that 5 seconds. So it's kind of good still. The first thing I want to mention about the card enhancement is that it deals a higher damage in protracted battles. It deals higher damage as compared to the other one in longer battles. You might actually be confused about this, but it's quite easy really. Enhanced enhancement helps you deal the highest damage a Reaper can do, or is it the second highest, as fast as possible, way faster than destroying chain. And we're talking about Doom Blast here. With Enhanced enhancement, you get Cat Essence a lot faster. Sometimes you get 2, sometimes you get 1, but you get it a lot faster than destroying chain. That's Doom Blast. The second thing is it's perfect for the storm builds. Now let me use this real quick and show you guys. This is Doom Blast. Whenever you perform that on an opponent that's not on super armor, they get stunned for I think 1 or 2 seconds. So it's perfect for storm build. Even if you have something like the minefield already up, you get your Cat Essence ready, you can stun them again. So they are stunned by minefield, they are stunned by your Cat's enhancements, Doom Blast, and they just keep getting stunned. The third thing is it's weak versus the Blade Masters and dodge build. It doesn't really have the cannot miss effect of the destroying chain. So all those spam you spam, all of this, if it's against a Blade Master that has high dodge rate, like about half of all that will be dodged and your damage is going to be reduced. But against other classes that do not really have that high dodge like the Blade Master, it's going to be quite helpful. Finally, it is quite versatile. Like I said, the destroying chain limits you to a single burst DPS, but with this one you can actually go continuously in your damage, or you could even run away from your opponent and quickly build up your Cat enhancement, Cat Essence, and go quickly back to them, stun them, rinse and repeat. It's quite simple actually. That's just one way of using this build. So you can just keep going and be annoying. Now the playstyle versus Reapers and other classes. I've said this before, but it won't hurt to repeat it. If you come up with different strategies, opening, mid-battle and end-battle rotations will help you in the long run. For the Reaper class, it's not like the others that you could just go all spammy and stuff. You have to be strategic with the Reaper class. You have to be patient if you are not strong enough. This is for the non-cashers. If you're not a casher, if you're not a whale, if you're not a spender, patience is going to be your most important virtue as a Reaper. If you're not patient enough, you're going to die. If you are patient enough, you can defeat any rating or almost any rating as long as you just plan properly. Now we're going to use Illusionist for this video as an enemy. The same style you use to fight the Assassin or the Soul Dancer or the Blade Master isn't the same one you will use against them. Trust me, if you try it, you might win, but most of the time you will probably end up dying because yeah, it just doesn't work properly. So there are 2 strategies I have to defeat the Illusionist. The first and most risky strategy, I will show it after explaining it right now. The first and the most risky strategy is to switch to Cat's mode. That's this. Go to them and attack. Spam your skill as fast as you can and teleport away, undo the damage. That's the first tactic. In the long run, this tactic won't favor you that well because when the Illusionist cage you, your skills cooldown is going to be stopped for I think 2 seconds. Your rotation is going to be broken. What you have to try and do then is to ensure that they cage your clone. That's the next trick. You have to make them cage your clone. I can't teach you how to do that. That's based on your creativity. It's up to you to actually find out how to do this. I can do this, but it doesn't work 100% of the time for me. Now the second and my most favorite method is the fearing tactic. Illusionists can't teleport when you fear them. So all you have to do is go close to them, connect your chain, fear them, connect your chain to fear them, and go invisible. You could either use this or you could use this, whichever one. Go invisible and wait about 4 seconds and spam this. They'll be feared and won't be able to attack you back, so you just keep spamming that, stun them again, run away, and rinse and repeat. Know that when you use this tactic, you have to wait a little longer because you can't keep the stun going on. You can't keep fearing an opponent immediately after you fear them the first time. So after that, you can then use your clone and try and confuse them. That's one tactic. So after searching for a while, I finally found a clip from one of my arena where I combined both strategies. So you can take a look, I won't be talking over it. Go past my estimated time mark, there are many other playstyles and strategies which I will share in future videos. So subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications when I release those new videos. Drop your questions, suggestions, thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll reply to them if needed or make a video if necessary. Like the video if you found this helpful, and as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.